Can't hear the.
Welcome to a long-awaited return of Notepad Sports Talk. I am one of your hosts, JD, and it's
I'm
not
Steve.
working, is it?
It did not work. I didn't hear anything on my end.
You should have said something. Forgot to click live. It's been that long.
Yeah, well, I started to, and then you started to speak, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna let it run.
Yeah. It's like,
Turn that off.
oops.
It's time for Notepad.
We're newbies.
That's what happens. We've gone for a
Turn that
while.
off.
Things happen.
It's
There it is.
time for Notepad Sports.
All right. Anyway, look, it's been a while. Give me a break.
That's right.
So, at any rate, look, it is Sunday, December 15th. It is currently almost 1 o'clock. We're going to be watching the Lions game here a little bit later. Luckily, they have a later start time, so you're able to do a show beforehand. Apologize for the absence, but there was a lot of stuff going on in the lives. What's going on? Obviously, I got a lot of stuff behind me that is still needing work done from a personal standpoint on myself. But at any rate, we definitely missed doing the show. We wanted to do one last week, wanted to do one basically every week. And
Exactly.
Didn't quite happen that way. But we are happy to be back and doing another show. But look, we have a lot to catch up on in terms of our predictions, because even though we weren't doing shows, we're still keeping up with our predictions week to week.
Yes.
And look, a lot of stuff has happened as far as like Lions go. We haven't really been able to give our opinions. Tigers, there's news on the free agency front with the Tigers and stuff like that too. Look, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I don't know how much we're going to get into it today, but the good news is both my brother and I have some time off because of the holidays coming up. So we are planning on doing multiple shows coming up. So just keep that in mind.
So, and when we say it this time, we actually mean it. We mean it every week.
We mean it every time.
We want it. We do. But I work. I got one more week, and then I'm off for 2 weeks. My brother's apparently already off for the holidays, which is awesome for him because he travels. So, giving him some extra time at home is always a good thing.
Well, I was supposed to be traveling this week technically, but Alex Straza has an appointment, so a medical appointment. So I am taking a work from home week this week. So I still have, some tasks I got to get completed, but it's nothing like if I was gone.
Yeah, there'll be some things you'll be doing, but
yeah,
your workload won't be as heavy.
No, definitely not. So yeah, after this coming week, we have both of us 2 full weeks of being off. So we got quite a number of ideas that we want to implement in the next couple weeks. So just again, it's going to be back. Sorry we're gone for so long, but we are definitely looking to, get back into it again. So if we're rusty, just like our intro today, just, ignore it, right?
Yeah, just let it go. Let it go because we're not professionals. We not.
No, never claim to be. Look, we're up to 95 subscribers, which is good for us. We're a small show, so we appreciate each and every one of you. Yep. So thank you for that. We are trying to hit 100. That'd be a huge big Christmas present for us both. Yeah. But let's just jump right into our predictions there, brother. I think that's what most people want to see anyways.
I think so. And before we even get started, I am not going to catch my brother. I'm not going to finish last, and I think I'm going to beat ChatGPT. I think I'm going to be okay there. But I'm not going to catch my brother. My brother would have to not make any right picks for an entire week, I think, at this point, for me even to get close.
So this is our week-over-week picks, right? You can kind of see here. So Steve's picks, my picks, you kind of compare them with ChatGPT. ChatGPT started out to an early lead, but we both slowly gained on ChatGPT, and we both have now passed ChatGPT in terms of predictions and picks. So you can see my brother and I are pretty close in almost every category in picks. Most of the time it's tied or one of us wins by one game.
Yeah.
Like that's typically how it goes. There's a couple weeks in which that didn't happen, and those are the weeks that led me to get such a large lead over my brother right now. These upsets, this is our own statistic we created. This just means that none of the three here, myself, Steve, or ChatGPT, picked that team to win. So the more upsets here just means that, nobody picked those teams to win. So like week 2 here, 8 games, nobody picked those teams to win. So that was a huge week. But if you look down here, the totals, Steve is currently 135 and 73. I'm 149 and 59. And ChatGPT is 120 and 79. So Steve also has a 15-game lead on ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you can see over the course of the last few games, instead of getting better, to me, it seems like it kind of stuck with the same picks. There's some teams you kind of expected to be good. Like I use the Cowboys for an example.
Yep.
And whereas Steve and I would stop picking the Cowboys, ChatGPT just seemed to continue picking the Cowboys. Like it seems like it just didn't quite learn as the season went on, is what it looked like.
Yeah, it's still using history and some, whatever statistic stuff it finds, really on the internet.
Yep.
So it's using that kind of information while it makes its pick. And, there's a time where that's probably good. And you can see that it was really worked out for him kind of early in the season for ChatGPT, right? Because, good teams will usually win early, where teams that get better over the year don't, they're struggling early. But
yeah, I mean, right here, right, 5 weeks of less than double-digit predictions being right, and then 4 here, then it goes back to just 2. That week 11 was just terrible for ChatGPT.
It was not even great for me, and I thought I picked some really good games. It just I lost a lot of last-second games.
So here's our predictions for this week. Let me just see if I can make this a little bit larger. I'm not sure how it shows up on everybody's screen here. I just want to make sure everybody can see it. So Rams, Steve and I both picked the Rams to beat the Niners.
That was a close game. I was sweating it out.
Well, I picked Rams last week too, to beat the Bills. And last second there too, right? Like I was putting that one out. But I've been riding the Rams, you've been riding the Bills, right? And it's worked best, and it's worked best for you, over the course of the entire season. But I had a lot of faith that young team was going to start getting good, and we're starting to see that now.
Well, they're getting healthy. The Rams are, which is that's why I picked the Rams. I mean,
I think the Rams are a good team, probably one of the best teams that are they about 500 now or something?
I think they're really close to that. The win Thursday really helped their chances of still staying in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to go with the Rams. Rams are getting healthy. The 49ers are not.
They're not.
And now
opposite directions.
Yeah, and now they've got issues. What that linebacker just refused to go into the game.
Yeah, didn't they cut him? I thought they cut him.
They have not cut him, but he's certainly going to be suspended. It's the players' union.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some. They want to suspend him for more than one game. I assume, because if they cut him, they still have to pay him.
Oh, that's right. That was that discussion. I remember that discussion now.
Yep. So if, so they definitely don't want to cut him and reward the guy.
Reward him,
right, for not playing and punking out. That's the best thing. That's the nicest thing I could say, right?
Yeah.
Is that he just punked out. Like, that's it. And I get we all have things that are going on in our life, but that is a communicating thing. You're an adult. You should say something to somebody, and you still got a job that needs to be done. Right?
That's correct.
So, he let his entire team down, and his teammates let him know.
Yeah, they did. I like what George Kittle was saying.
Absolutely.
During his interview, he was like, "I wish I would have known it, during the game, because, yeah."
So, the 49ers, there's some, I don't know what's going on there. Like I said, they've been struggling with some injuries all season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're down to they were down to their fourth string running back, right? And Deebo Samuels is now playing. They had him playing more in the backfield. So,
yeah. I mean, again, it makes sense, right? I mean, I like the young Rams team. Then Commanders, right? We both picked the Commanders over the Saints on this one.
Yep. And I know that they're playing in it's an away game for them, but I just think if they can continue to run the ball the way they've been doing it and not asking Jaden Daniels to win games. I mean, not that I don't think that he can. I think he can. It just let them stay on time. And if they can do that, the Commanders are going to be good.
Chiefs versus Browns. I just don't really think that's going to be much of a contest. The Browns have just not been good.
No, the Chiefs are this should not be a close game.
It should not be a close game. Bengals versus Titans. Again, everybody kind of picks the Bengals there. Look, Joe Burrow is having an MVP caliber year.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Bengals' overall team record, he is complete balling out.
Yes, he is. And sorry, so I'm watching some of the games because they're just all starting to kick off here. And Baltimore's already. Lamar Jackson took a quarterback sneak and fumbled the ball back to who are they playing? I don't even know who the
Giants.
The Giants, yeah. So the Giants already got the ball. Got a turnover in the game. Joe Burrow looks like he just threw an interception.
Well, okay. Of course he would after we just start.
After we just shined him up a little bit.
Yeah. And if you look, we both have the away teams for the first 4 games. Which is unusual.
Away teams.
I again, if you look back at my past, I pick a lot of home teams, especially in a coin flip game. I always pick the home team.
Absolutely.
But yeah, having 4 away teams here, that was a little unusual at the beginning. Dolphins versus Texans. Again, Texans. For us, CJ Stroud is not playing well, but I don't know. I still believe in the guy. So
absolutely, I still think he's a great quarterback. Or he's going to be a great quarterback.
Yeah,
it's a sophomore season. Everyone talks about sophomore slump, so it's not his first year. Teams know, like they're talking about his cadence. Like there's just things that you can gather after you've played somebody now a year and you've got a year's worth of tape to look at. So
yeah, that's all right,
Jeez.
And then
this is the Ravens... third. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah.
This another turnover. The Chiefs just punted back to the Browns, and the Browns player fumbled the ball, and the Chiefs picked it up.
Yeah, it's the Browns. What do you expect?
I know. Well, it's been crazy. Three bam, bam, bam. I love watching Red Zone. Everyone knows I love watching Red Zone.
Yeah. Jets versus Jaguars. Steve's the only one to pick the Jets.
And that was a tough one. Jaguars are not playing well.
They're not playing well, but neither are the Jets.
And the Jets are hit or miss. They're hit or miss. So I took the Jets.
We got
that's my chance to go up one on my brother for the week.
Yep. And there's a lot more too for that as we go down here. But Cowboys versus Panthers. Again, look, this is what's kind of crazy, right? You got 2 teams here, both not playing really well, but Bryce Young, the last few weeks, have actually not been that bad.
Well, since that Kansas City game, I have been eyeballing the Panthers like every week and just watching these games. Yeah. And they are not playing bad football. They're just getting beat, right? That's kind of in the end. Right? They're losing the game, but I don't think they're playing bad football.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cowboys are not playing good football.
And they seem to be spiraling, right?
And it's only getting worse. Absolutely.
It's getting worse.
So that was actually an easy pick for me, not because I'm a Washington fan and I hate the Cowboys. It's because they're that bad.
Yes, they are. Bucks versus Chargers. Everybody picked the Chargers in this one. I mean, Bucks are a good team. Obviously they got a chance to win, but I just think Chargers win at home on this one.
Yeah,
just that simple.
Yeah.
Colts versus Broncos. You have one QB playing good, one QB not. So that's basically the choice on that.
Bo Nix is going to be. He's having a phenomenal year.
And if you remember back during our NFL draft prep, I talked up Bo Nix.
You did.
I was a Bo Nix fan.
Maturity. He's played a lot of football.
He's played a lot of football.
Right. Like when he came in, it wasn't like he was the rookie. Right. He's got, it's second, third year already in the NFL based on age and experience. So,
and look, I liked Jaden Daniels as far as like his skill pool, but I thought as far as people that quarterbacks that are ready to start day one, I thought Bo Nix was probably the most pro-ready quarterback in that draft class.
Yeah, and I think matching him up with Sean Payton.
Yeah,
that was a great combination. It's a great combination.
But Patriots versus Cardinals, Cardinals kind of like a sneaky good team. Like I don't want to. Well, I don't.
They
just, you know what I mean? Like,
but they're up and down too.
Right? They're around. Yeah.
One game they're going to come out and score 35 points. The next one they're going to lay an egg and score 6. Right?
And I have to admit here, this next game hurts my soul to do this, but
you're going for the throat. You're going for the win, and I get it.
Right.
I get it.
And
I get it.
You have no idea. Everybody out there that's might be typing something towards me right now. Believe me, I want to be wrong. And I'll be happy if I am. I'll never be happier if Lions win. And look, it's not because I don't believe in the Lions. It's again has a lot to do with just the injuries on defense, and you're playing against Josh Allen. Like, that's it. That to me. Now again, Lions have a very good chance to win this game.
Yep.
Bills can't really stop the run. Lions can run the ball, keep Josh Allen off the field, right? Like that's Lions' way. That's Lions' key to win this game, which I don't think is a secret to anybody out there.
No.
But I just think that it's just I don't Lions defense got exposed last week versus Green Bay when they let up 31 points. And that's against Green Bay. And against the Bills, I can see them letting up more than 31 points. And I don't know if Lions offense can keep up pace with the Bills, because again, I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. No. Obviously, I want to be wrong, but the whole point of this exercise is pick who we think is going to win the game, and I think Bills win the game.
Yeah, and I think the Bills are going to come out and they're going to play fast to try and wear down the defense.
Yeah,
and it makes sense when we're still
not a lot of depth.
Defense. Yeah.
I
think Lee McNeil is going to play. I think
he's
cleared.
It's Taylor Decker.
Taylor Decker is going to be back. So, there's some pieces that we've gotten back that we're going to need, and I think the defense having a Lee McNeil back on the line is going to be huge.
So I took a little bit of notes on that too. Just let me get my notes here. So as far as Lions getting healthy, right? Some people that's on the IR that we can expect back, like Anzalone and Raymond, they can be back before the end of the season. We don't have a timetable on them yet, but they can be back for the end of the season. Rakestraw and Melifonwu can be they're eligible to return week 16.
Yep.
DJ Reader, he was back at practice, which was good news, of course.
That's good news.
And then Pascal and Anzari, I always have trouble saying Levi's name. Zurike, they're back at practice, but they were limited this week. And of course, Decker and McNeil are back at full practice. So as far as it's getting healthy, Lions are definitely getting healthy, but
and at the right time.
At the right time. And that's something else I thought that would be kind of difficult for the Lions because they had an early bye week. We're getting late into the regular season.
Yep.
Guys are getting banged up and tired. I just think there's a lot going against the Lions in this specific game. I know they had an extended rest period because of playing on Thursday last week, but I just don't think that's going to be enough. And I just think Bills win this one. And it's not because, again, I believe in the Lions. I believe the Lions.
I think it's going to be a close game.
Very good team, but
I think it's going to be a close game. But I think it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah, I think it'll be high scoring as well.
I think we're going to see a 30-33 game.
Both teams will be in the 30s, if not more.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
we can get back to that later if we have more to say. But let's get through the predictions here. Steelers versus Eagles. So
this is going to be a tough game for the Steelers. And I took Pittsburgh. I believe in Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
I think what the Steelers are doing, they even made that, Russell Wilson, he's playing better than he has been in a couple of years. I could not pick him. I had to.
I'm just going with the home team because, again, it's going to be a close game. The Packers and Seahawks, kind of the same situation here for me. Personally, I'm going to the Seahawks because they're the home team. And I think they're going to surprise someone here. I think the Packers, I think they're going to get kind of a little bit of a losing streak coming up, and I think this is going to be, another game they lose.
The Packers have a team that can play well on the road, right? And I picked them to win because I think they have the better team. But I wouldn't be upset if they lost because that's good for the division.
Right.
I
mean, no, that's for sure. Yeah.
It's kind of where we're at.
Next game, Bears versus Vikings. Everyone took the Vikings on this one. Again, Bears just not have been a very good, they haven't played a good team football. No. That's how you could put it. So, and Falcons versus Raiders. So,
and why
Max Crosby? He's out for the year. So
he's out for the year. And why ChatGPT picked the Raiders at all is baffling to me.
Yeah. Yep. So, you can see our picks for this week here. Let us know what you think. Obviously, we'll find out after Sunday. But Steve could definitely gain some ground here. We got a couple picks that are different. Steelers, the Lions, the Packers, Jets. Jets.
So, in theory, I could pick up 4 games, but it's still not enough.
4 games.
I can pick up 4 games, but and look, I want to go to the Jets-Jaguars game. I think part of that is they got Mac Jones at quarterback. Now, I know he's been back there now a couple of games. He's getting better, but he's not Lawrence. And I think that's kind of why I went with the Jets.
But Lawrence has not been playing good football either.
No? The Jaguars in general have not played good football.
Now, I do think Lawrence is better than Mac Jones. I'm not trying to, say anything negative, like that or nothing.
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers also has not been the Aaron Rodgers of old either. You have Jets basically try putting together a team that Rodgers wanted, right? They got Rodgers on board. They traded for some players. Yep. So now they got older receivers, an older quarterback, and it just really is not working out for the Jets right now.
Not at all.
So again, I go with the home team here. We'll see what happens.
I like I said, I got it. I just, as far as quarterback play, I went with the better quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely the better quarterback even right now with him struggling.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. So, that's what I did, and we live and die by our picks, right? Commanders just had a freaking penalty, took a touchdown off the board.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But there's our picks. So again, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And do you have anything else to say about the NFL right now?
So no, it's been interesting trying to, just keep up teams that you thought were going to be good and they're just not gelling, right? And it's teams that had guys players that can't. They have their full team intact from last year, and they were a better team last year. It wasn't a new coaching staff, not this, not that, right? And I look at it, and all of a sudden, you can't. They're just not playing well, and you're sitting there trying to figure it out, right? And even someone who's picks the games, you're thinking something's wrong, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know that it's that. I think it's just other teams have gotten better, right? And it's not that the other team got worse. It's just other teams got better. And I think you're starting to see some balance in the NFL. I mean, you got the Chiefs and the Lions at 1 loss, right? Mm-hmm. The NFC is just freaking tough. Top to bottom tough. As far as the scheduling. Because on the AFC side, the Bills and
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are already got won their divisions. Mm-hmm. Right? And the Lions, theirs is going to go all the way down to the freaking week 18.
Yeah.
At this rate,
This rate.
So, and then the number 1 seed, because you got Philly at 11-2. You've got the Vikings are right there. We're only 1 game up, and we've only lost 1 game. You know what I mean?
Right.
We have. It's you got to continue to win. But it's been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, the NFC West has been the worst division in the NFC by far, right? Yep. Seahawks lead that division 8-5. Rams are 8-6, and then 49ers in the basement, which I think was a surprise to most people, right? 49ers being in the basement behind the Cardinals, even at 6-8,
right?
Then but the NFC Central, or I'm sorry, I was gonna say Central because of old school,
Yeah,
but
old
NFC
school.
North, like by far, is the toughest division.
Toughest division of football right now.
12-1 Lions, 11-2 Vikings, 9-4 Packers.
Right.
Like,
and the Packers could
tough.
easily be 9-3, 10-2, easily.
Right?
Oh yeah, like that's how tough the division's been.
Yep. Yep. I mean, and then the NFC South. I guess the NFC South also been a really bad division. Bucks are 7-6, leading the division. At 7-6. Everybody else
weird
has a
how
losing
like
record.
the AFC South and the NFC South, they're always mediocre, right? Like the team that wins the division is 9-7, right, or 9-8, or whatever. That's
but
how.
Let's. I mean, the worst team in football right now, of course, are the Giants at 2 wins.
Well, that's debatable. There's other 2-win team. Was it Raiders?
No.
Yeah.
I guess Raiders are the 2-win team.
Yep.
I thought everybody else had 3 wins, but no, you're right. Raiders at 2 wins. But yeah, the Jets, the Patriots, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Panthers all have 3 wins. Just crazy how many teams have 3 wins.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because the Jets and the Jaguars are playing each other, and one of them's going to come out here with a 4th win.
Yeah. So, look, I know the news broke about Bill Belichick signing with North Carolina.
Yeah, interesting, right?
It is. I'm not so sure how his going to translate to students, but you can expect that that the players out of North Carolina is going to be NFL ready, because that is how Bill Belichick will be coaching. But
that's correct.
I want to know if you heard everything that was guaranteed to Belichick when he signed with the North Carolina. Have you heard?
I can't say I heard everything. I heard one thing, that he wanted his son to be the successor to him.
Okay. Well, what's in the contract is all I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The stuff that's actually in the contract. I don't know about his whole son thing, but
yeah.
So here's Belichick's contract as far as money goes. He signed a 5-year contract. He gets $10 million annual. He also has $100,000 a year expense account. He has a $10 million assistant coach salary pool. He also has a $1 million salary pool for a strength staff. He has an additional $5.3 million salary pool for support staff, including a GM.
Yeah, I heard about the GM. I've heard North Carolina is not the only school I've heard about them hiring someone like a GM type person.
Mm-hmm.
This because NIL.
NIL, yeah.
I mean,
and then last thing here is a $13 million revenue sharing as part of his contract. So that's a pretty hefty contract overall, right? I mean, not just for him, but making sure that he has enough money to get the coaches that he wants.
He's got the people around him.
Yep. So, at any rate, that's what I want to talk about as far as Belichick, because I just thought that contract was pretty unique in terms of him getting guaranteed money for assistant coaches.
Yeah, I think that's becoming more commonplace though. Like when Harbaugh, before his last contract with the Wolverines, there was verbiage in there that talked about his assistants, like his staff, and being able to get them a bump in pay as well. So I think that's starting to become more. Or maybe it was just out there more now because it's a Bill Belichick, right? But some of the things I did here was, like I said, I assume he's going to try and get his son in, to coach with him. But he's right now with the Seahawks, I believe, defensive coordinator or something out there. The other thing was Belichick's dad coached at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that had some interest. But the biggest thing is, why didn't anybody want to bring him into the NFL? He's probably one of the best coaches in the NFL, right?
I don't know if he still is.
I don't know if he still is, right? To me, it's like a Bill Parcells. He was when he came back, he didn't have the same return.
Game changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeez.
So, and not just the game, but players and players' expectations and what they want. And Belichick's kind of old school, and I don't know. Like,
it'd be interesting to see how he handles the NIL now, because college football has obviously changed a lot because of NIL.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I heard he signed already a 4-star quarterback since he's been announced as the coach. So we're gonna, I think name recognition is going to be big for North Carolina.
Sure.
North Carolina is going to run an NFL style offense.
Yep.
Their defense, Belichick's known for his defense. They're going to be better. So there's a lot that's going to be happening in North Carolina. It'll be interesting to see. How's this? I'm not expecting a whole lot next year, but give him a couple of recruiting classes, and by that third year, when he gets the players in that his players, holy crap! Plus, he's got an opt out. I think after the third year in his contract.
I mean, he is of course older, like 70 something, isn't he? In the 70s.
Yeah.
So that's really all I had. For football, I do have some baseball stuff here.
Yeah, it's been really crazy already with the free agency thing. I mean, I'll mention it. The Juan Soto thing. Was it 15 years? Was it a 15 years, $765 million?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of. I know I'm close.
And 765 mil.
Yeah, 765 mil. So obviously, it's more dollars than Ohtani got, but it's not annually the same as what Ohtani got. I mean, it broke the record because it was over the 700 mil.
Correct.
But then right after that got signed, there were so many videos like through TikTok or on Reels through Instagram of him playing defense.
Yeah.
Or I should say his lack of playing defense, right? Yep. Misreading a ball or just dropping it or running. And you just gave this guy lifetime money. And yeah, it's great. He can hit. Are you going to make him a DH now? Is he just going to be a permanent DH at because he's not old. He's only been at he's what,
26?
25, 26, yeah, something like that, right? So you just gave this guy a 15-year deal. I won't say you're stuck with him because you're never stuck with anybody, I guess.
Well, what I thought was interesting was some of the bells and whistles that was in this contract that a lot of people don't talk about. Okay, so for example, Soto has the right to opt out of the contract after 2029, which an opt out isn't like woo crazy, but here's what's crazy: the Mets can trump Soto's opt out if they give him an additional $4 million per season.
So they're gonna basically re-signing to a new contract with $4 million per year.
Because if you're Soto, right, why wouldn't you then opt out after 2029 just to get that extra $4 million?
Well, absolutely.
Right. So in effect, because again, that'd be the final 10 years. So that'd be an additional $40 million that he gets. That brings up the total value of the contract to $805 million.
Yep.
So he also has he has full no trade protection, so he can't be traded. He will also be provided a hotel suite for road games, an actual suite, not just a room. Wow. So, and that was one of the things that the Mets offered that the Yankees wouldn't, right? Because there's a bidding war between those two teams,
the two New York teams.
Yeah, and they wouldn't give a suite to Jeter, Judge, or anybody else. So, and they also refused to give one to Soto. So that was, even though the Mets had more money, they also were giving them these little like deals and stuff too. So
sure. But you got to figure out how to sweeten the pot because there's only so much money you can afford, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be some other incentive that's going to sway that contract to make you sign with them.
Soto also gets 4 seats behind home plate for each home game, and him and his family get security for all games, including spring training. So,
all right.
Now those are just little bells and whistles, right? Now he gets some bonuses too. So his bonuses are, if he wins MVP, he gets $500,000 the first MVP that he wins. If he wins more than one MVP, he gets $1 million for each additional win. He also gets $350,000 for finishing second in the voting, and $150,000 if he comes in third. He gets $100,000 for each All-Star selection, $100,000 for each Gold Glove selection, $350,000 if he wins the MVP, $150,000 if he wins the LCS MVP, $100,000 for being either on the first or second All MLB team, $150,000 for each Silver Slugger award, and $100,000 for a Hank Aaron award.
Well, I'm not sure they're worried about the Gold Glove.
No, they're definitely worried about the Gold Glove. And then, but as far as those like Silver Slugger awards, he's won that 5 times, right? In his career so far. That's, there's $150,000 a year.
And so, he's not been in the league that long to have won 5 of them already.
Well, he entered the league when he was 20. So, yeah. And so that's his contract. I just thought that was pretty insane. Like some of the stuff that was included in there.
Yeah, it's the little minutia of the contract.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So
that's interesting.
And of course, the Dodgers were in on Soto as well, but they
with what they've got already under contract, I think they're looking for the Roki Sasaki. Did I say that right?
Sasaki. Roki Sasaki.
Roki Sasaki.
But they are looking towards Sasaki, but they're not. They can't pay him a ton of money. Because he's not eligible for a big contract yet, because he's entering the league too young.
Well, that's good for them because they already have some big money players.
But here's what's interesting, though. The Tigers are making a pitch for Roki Sasaki. I mean, of course they are. Every team is. But a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot of people, there's some hope that the Tigers can make at least a competitive pitch to Sasaki. Excuse me. Because one, they have the most money available for international free agents. And Sasaki won't be able to get, like a regular contract like Yamamoto did, because, again, he's too young. So he has to go with this rookie pool of money for international free agents, like international. Yeah. Anyway, so it's more like a rookie type contract the way it's structured. But the Tigers have the most money in that pool, so they can go ahead and make a pitch for him and give him more money than likely any other team can. In addition to that, there's been talk out there that Roki Sasaki wants to go to a team that has a track record of making pitchers better. So you look at what the Tigers have done with pitchers, and not only that, but Tigers pitching coach, Chris Fetter, he won the MLB Coach of the Year, right? So you have a pitching coach winning MLB Coach of the Year. You have the reigning Cy Young Award winner on your team, that you homegrown talent. You've made in the past, past couple years, like Michael Lorenzen, made him better, right?
Jack
People
Flaherty.
wanted to trade for him. Flaherty is a good case as well. And that just goes on and on. We're not even talking about the relievers that they've dealt with and made them better. Plus all the, again, the pitchers that we're seeing, not just with Skubal, but, Casey Mize was doing well until he got injured, right? Reese Olson, again, he was a homegrown guy. We traded for him. We didn't draft him, but yet he's been in the Tiger system now for a number of years. And we're seeing a good thing with like Reese Olson as far as him developing into a talent.
Yeah.
And we just keep seeing this stuff happening over and over and over again. So if that's a big feather in Tiger's cap is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to win over Roki Sasaki, but it's not going to hurt.
No. Who's the kid that we still have in the pipeline? Did he get called up at the end of the year? He did get called up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, dude.
I know.
I wasn't even thinking that way, and you had to bring him up. And Jackson Jobe.
Like, they've been working with this kid,
since he got drafted out of high school.
That's right. And they've tracked him. They haven't moved him up too soon. He's been able to, be successful at every time or everywhere he's gone, right?
Yeah.
And he got some opportunities at the end of the season last year. He even pitched, I think, during the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
it came as relief.
It came in as relief, exactly. I wasn't, he didn't start, but we needed bullpen pitchers because we needed bullpen games,
right?
Because we didn't have enough starters to in the rotation because we got a lot of injuries.
Yeah, there was. Same thing with the Lions now. Both teams.
Exactly.
It's just kind of crazy. And kind of sticking with the Tigers here, there's a lot of talk about them getting Alex Bregman from the Astros. That there was interest from Bregman going to Detroit, and Detroit's interested in Bregman. And it became clear that Bregman's definitely gone from the Astros when the Astros traded with the Cubs and got Isaac Paredes, who's a third baseman from the Cubs. And so, yeah, Bregman's definitely gone. Bregman's also said that he's willing to switch positions if necessary. That he's willing to do whatever it takes, and good for him, I guess. But he's got a good glove, but we'll just see what happens. I don't know if that's the right move or not. I think it depends. It depends on a lot, as far as money and everything else. We'd have to see what happens. But
sure, the Tigers aren't known for making big splashes.
And when the last time
they made a big splash, they made the wrong decision.
Well, not just with Baez, right?
No.
But they the pitcher, jeez, I can't think of his name now. They just Alex Cobb, right? Like they gave him quite a bit of money, $15 million, I think it was, and but he hasn't really thrown very many pitches. Like he's been hurt. Like it's not. I don't know if that was the best use of $15 million. Is all I'm trying to say. We needed some starting pitching, for sure. But I don't know.
That just happened, right? That was one of the signs they made. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, he's like historically he's been a pretty decent pitcher, but like you just can't. We don't know if I don't know.
Well,
it's weird to me. Like that signing is a little weird for that kind of money.
Yeah. The Tigers, everyone loved. They still love Cabrera, right?
Oh yeah.
But even his contract was hurting us at the end of his career.
Yes, it was.
Right. So it comes down to timing, like where they're at in their career. There's a lot that happens as far as what the Tigers haven't done correctly when they're trying to sign players, I guess. But we can see what this new regime's doing. We didn't understand the trade deadlines of the last two seasons.
And,
right. Bottom line is they called it on they went out and made the playoffs. And not just won the playoffs, won the wild card and got to the ALDS.
Yeah.
Right? So just got to trust in what they're doing, I guess.
Well, I like to say that, but I mean, they also signed Kenta Maeda to a contract, and that was kind of a disaster contract, right? Like he was not a very good starter this year. And when you think about it, the two pitchers you can go back and look at and say they kind of resurrected their career was Eduardo Rodriguez and Flaherty, but both of them were below 30 when they signed with the Tigers. Like they weren't like Cobb is 37. Right, like, that and Maeda's was I think 35 or 36, something like that. I could be wrong, but he's in his 30s anyways. So the two pitchers they signed, well, I mean, we don't know about Cobb yet, but two pitchers they signed in their 20s were a success as far as being able to rebuild them. But can we do the same in the 30s? Looking like Maeda's, like a no, but like. What can we do with Cobb? Like I don't know. Like it's strange to me that that's what they decided to do with that $15 million, is go after Cobb. Luckily, it's only for 1 year, so like if it's a disaster, it's not going to hurt us long term. But he could be
the guy that has a really good first part of the season. He's traded at the trade deadline for somebody.
Could be
right.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's like a Jack Flaherty because it's a contract that another team won't mind taking on because it's only good to the end of the year.
Right.
Yep. So you're only renting that guy for that period of time. So
and I have two tidbits of information here, bro.
Okay.
All right. One,
I honestly, before you get started, I've missed the tidbits. I've missed them.
I had more, but it's been so long that I was writing them down as I came across them, and I can't find all of them now. But now this one is kind of a long tidbit, and it's about Ohtani. We'll go with this one first.
All right, we're going to go with this one first.
You know, there's a lot of talk about Ohtani. Is he the best ever? And you can go both ways with it. I think it's still too early in his career to call him the best ever, but he's off to a very good start. We call it the best ever. All right?
Correct.
Let's talk about his first 7 years in Major League Baseball.
Yep. This is the thing you texted me one day, right?
It is.
Pretty sure. Yep.
And Ohtani's first 7 years in Major League Baseball, he has 3 unanimous MVPs, 1 Rookie of the Year, 1 World Series, 2 Hank Aaron Awards, 4 Edgar Martinez Awards, 7 All-MLB teams, all 7 years, 3 Silver Sluggers. As a hitter, he has 3 seasons over 40 home runs, 1 season at 50 home runs, the first ever and only 50-50 season, and 3 seasons above 9 WAR, right, as a hitter. As a pitcher, he's had 3 seasons with 150-plus strikeouts, 3 seasons with an ERA under 3.2, and 1 season with an ERA under 2.5. Phenomenal. That's phenomenal beginning. So.
Yep, and like we've talked about, well, at least I've mentioned it as far as like, does he stop pitching or stop hitting and like focus in on what, like for longevity purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've always said that it's like his training, the stuff that he does, like he's really just built differently.
I know that he is not wanting to stop, right? I know he is wanting to do both. So, and he'll continue to do both until he just can't no more, whatever that is.
Yep.
And the last little tidbit I got for you, brother, this is kind of a funny one. All right. I don't know if you remember or not, but Anthony Rendon, we were kind of making fun of, at least I was, during the season because of his unwillingness to play, always being injured, and when he does play, he's not all that good. Like it seems like he just lost his overall passion for baseball.
Yeah.
But when Rendon left the Nationals to go to the Angels, he did leave a hole at third base, and the Nationals have been trying to find a replacement at third base for Rendon ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So since Rendon has left, the Nationals have used 19 different people at third base.
Wow.
Okay. Now, of course, he left the Nationals to go to the Angels.
Right.
So since Rendon has joined the Angels, how many other people have played third base besides Rendon for the Angels?
10.
28.
Okay.
I mean, to me, Rendon's contract is one of the worst ever in baseball. And I think that just kind of solidifies it, right? The team he left, they have trouble replacing him. Used 19 different guys at third base since he left, but the Angels have used 28 since he's joined them. I mean, it's just like, what has he done? He's done nothing to help the Angels. Nothing. It's been absolutely the worst contract in baseball. I mean, you can make the argument for it. There's a lot of bad contracts in baseball, but you can certainly make the argument that that's the worst.
Well, because that Juan Soto one could turn out to be historically bad.
It could be, but probably not, right? I wouldn't expect that to be, but oh my goodness.
I just think, I know they play a lot of games. It's for a lot of years. It's a lot of money, right? And we talked how the cap, like salary cap, is different when we talk across sports. But holy cow, man, that's like how much the Juan Soto deal. How much of that is actually like guaranteed money? Is it just through the 2029 season, or is it like, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's guaranteed.
Yeah, like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna be like a Bobby Bonilla. He have his own Bobby Bonilla day.
Yeah. Well, a lot of players will, because so many contracts now are including
deferred money.
The deferred money. So yeah, and here's something that's interesting too. What I found out about deferred money, I was not aware of this. Okay. I just found out about it. I mean, I know how deferred money works, but what I didn't know was owners still have to put that money in a pool. Like, they don't get to keep it. Every year they got to put all that money into a pool to make sure that the players get paid. So, like, if they go bankrupt, for an example, for whatever reason, right, they still got that pool of money there to pay for the players. And
I assume even if the ownership changes hands, That money still has to be there. Like the new owner has to take on that money.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that's so the pool money has to be there, so they make sure the players get paid. So it's still in a like a trust or something, right? I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
A pot, anyways.
Yeah. We'll call it their 401k.
Yeah. But it was anyway. I just want to say that. I just thought it was very, very interesting. So, but that's really the only other tidbit that I had. I don't really have anything else to share yet for this episode.
Yeah. Well, we'll have some episodes, so you got to save some for other episodes.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm gonna have to come up with some because every once in a while there's a couple of things that I see and I'm like, I'm not sending this to my brother because he'll steal it.
I might.
So, I don't want to help him with his tidbits. That's like helping him with his homework. I don't want to do that.
Right. Yeah, why would you?
Do your own damn homework.
I did have this behind me. I got to make room for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to. You're gonna need a shelf. I mean, it's not this.
Look, I have 2 shelves, and it's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's not this, right? I set my office up pretty good.
You did.
It's not bad.
I won't show mine though.
Yeah. Well, and then I forgot these. I got the peanuts over here, right? So, I've done a little work. It's taken me some time.
I mean, I got a ton of
build this room, actually.
Slabs and everything. Like I got a lot to do. I got to do. So. And yeah, you did. Yeah, you built it. Yeah.
Well, before we go off the air, I have tickets to go to I think I told you this, but I got tickets to go to the bowl game at Ford Fields on December 26th. So if you want to go, I got a ticket left.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably, but I'll get back to you as soon as I double check everything else.
Sure. Because I got to go out after that anyway. I was trying to pick up Mom. Because she's going to stay with us through New Year's.
Oh, okay. We got to go to Fogo. If I go, are we going to Fogo?
If you come out early enough. Well, yeah, because the game's at 2, so we could go after the game and still be good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, Fogo is on the table.
Okay.
Because my buddy, the guys that are going already, they're meat guys.
We got to do Fogo.
We got to go to Fogo.
All right. So we'll do Fogo.
All right.
So with that, anything else before we hit the outro?
No, man. That's as much as we talked about. We're still under an hour. So
yeah, we covered a lot real quick.
We did. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
and it feels good to be back.
It's great. It feels great to be back.
Yeah.
Like I get to show off my Santa look, coming in pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You gotta have a little bit of, you gotta have a little color.
Yep.
But especially with that new movie Red One that I haven't seen yet, that I'm going to be watching.
I did see it,
so
I kind of liked it. So
yeah, I think I'm going to like it, but I just don't think I'm not jacked like Santa is in there.
No,
I'm not working that hard.
No.
I like old Santa who just sits around and eats cookies.
Yeah, that's more on us.
That's our speed right there.
All right. Well, if you made it to the end, appreciate you listening and watching. And we'll be back in a little bit with
more stuff,
more shows. We got a lot going on. So
yeah.
But if
basketball and hockey, I mean, we got to talk.
We haven't touched on
in a long time, so we got to get.
And Kate Cunningham's killing it right now, but we haven't really got a chance to talk about him.
Yeah, we may have to dedicate a show to just basketball and a show to just hockey.
Just to catch up.
Catch up.
But all right, again, appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Follow us.